What if I told you that a cup of coffee could be changing your life more than you think? For better and for worse? Before you take another sip of your coffee, stay here to find out if it's truly your best ally or your hidden enemy every morning. Today we're going to uncover all of coffee's secrets. Does it really wake you up, or do you just feel like it does? How much does it affect your heart, your brain, and even your happiness? We'll look at the good, the bad, and I warn you, there are gray areas you probably didn't expect. At the end, I'll tell you the biggest myth about coffee and health. Want to know if you should keep drinking it? Stay until the end. First, let's start simple. What does everyone know about coffee? That it gives you energy. That it helps you start the day, survive an afternoon at work, study for that impossible exam. But is it really like that, or is there a trick behind that feeling? The truth is, coffee doesn't actually give you energy, and in a second, I'll tell you why. The instant effect of coffee. We all feel that jolt after a hot cup. But here comes the first surprise. Caffeine doesn't add energy. It blocks adenosine, a molecule that makes you feel tired. It's that simple. It's a hack for your brain. The tiredness is still there, but you don't feel it. That's why the boost is deceiving. Most people don't know this, but if you drink coffee very often, you'll need more and more to feel the same effect. And then you may actually end up more tired. In a second, I'll tell you how to prevent your body from developing tolerance and losing that initial benefit. Expectations versus reality. We all think coffee makes us more productive. And yes, there are studies showing caffeine can improve concentration and alertness. But it can also increase anxiety, irritability, and lower the quality of your decisions if you drink too much. And that fine line between productive and jittery is thinner than we think. Soon I'll share a trick for making the most of caffeine without becoming its slave. But first, let's talk quantity. How much is too much? The dose. Experts agree that up to 400 milliliters of caffeine a day for a healthy adult, which is about 3 to 4 cups of filtered coffee, is in the safe range. But watch out. Sensitivity varies a lot from person to person. If after one coffee you're already feeling your heart race, better cut back. And here's something crazy. Your genetics determine how you metabolize caffeine. There are people who can drink coffee and sleep like babies, and others who won't catch a wink after just 1 cup at midday. Did you know a simple genetic test can explain why coffee affects you more than your friends? Later, I'll tell you what you can do if you're sensitive to coffee but don't want to give it up. Now for the benefits. Because yes, there are scientific reasons to love coffee. Many studies link it to a reduced risk of diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and even some cancers. Coffee is packed with antioxidants and bioactive compounds. It's not just caffeine, there are polyphenols and anti-inflammatory molecules that may protect your cells. In fact, for many people, coffee is the main source of antioxidants in the Western diet. Sounds incredible, right? But wait, there's a but. Because coffee doesn't affect everyone in the same way. It depends on how you prepare it, what you combine it with, and when you drink it. And now, a bombshell. Coffee may make you live longer. Yes, there are massive studies involving hundreds of thousands of people that show a relationship between moderate coffee consumption and lower risk of death from any cause. Even decaf. But why? It's still a total mystery. Some point to antioxidant compounds, others say coffee drinkers are more socially active. For now, science doesn't have a final answer, but there's the data. Next, I'll tell you the other side. Coffee and the heart. One of everyone's greatest concerns. Because here's something interesting. For years, coffee had a bad reputation. It was accused of being bad for your heart, raising blood pressure, and increasing heart attack risk. But the most recent studies say otherwise. Most people can drink up to 3 cups a day without heart problems. In fact, it might even protect you from arrhythmias. Though there's a key exception. If you already have hypertension or a very fast heart rhythm, consult your doctor before adding more coffee to your life. I'm not done yet. There's still a time of day when coffee can be your worst enemy. Stick around, I'll explain in a moment. Coffee and sleep. When is it too late to have coffee? The short answer, stop 6 hours before going to bed. Sounds like a lot, right? The truth is, caffeine takes hours to leave your system. If you struggle to fall asleep and don't know why, that innocent afternoon cup could be the culprit. Here's a little known fact. Even if you can sleep after coffee, your deep sleep, the most restorative kind, can still be quietly affected. So, if you want to sleep better, you know what to do. Move your last cup earlier and compare the results. Later, I'll tell you an exception to this rule. That will surprise you if you're a night coffee lover. Now for what nobody says. Coffee isn't just coffee. Do you think that cup with milk, sugar, whipped cream, and flavored syrups is still healthy? Here comes the dark reality check. Some coffee shop coffees have as many calories as a full meal, or even more sugar than a soda. Black coffee has almost 0 calories. But the extras? Those really can cancel out any benefit. Moral of the story, if you're drinking for health, go for black, short, or filtered. And if you just can't say no to cappuccinos and frappes, make it an occasional treat, not your daily habit. Later on, I'll tell you how to make your own specialty coffee at home, healthy and delicious. What about decaf coffee? Is it just as good? That's the big question, especially if you're sensitive to caffeine. The answer is yes and no. Decaf retains most of the antioxidants and healthy compounds, but the process to remove caffeine can also take out other useful molecules. Still, many studies show that most of the benefits persist, so if regular coffee makes you jittery, decaf is a great option. And no, decaf isn't completely caffeine-free. It has a little, but much less. If you've ever wondered if you're hypersensitive, try it. In a minute, I'll tell you another way to reduce caffeine's impact on your body without giving up the flavor. And what about coffee during pregnancy? Big topic. It used to be thought that pregnant women should avoid it completely. Today, science says that up to 200 mg of caffeine per day, 1 to 2 cups, is safe during pregnancy. Still, every body is different, so when in doubt, always ask your doctor. Better safe than sorry. Now then, what if you go overboard? Let's talk about the real risks of coffee. From anxiety and jitters to digestive issues, headaches, racing heartbeat, and insomnia. If you feel any of these symptoms, ask yourself, am I drinking too much coffee? Or caffeinated? Drinks like energy drinks and colas that also add to your daily count. And warning, caffeine is addictive. If you've ever tried to quit coffee and had a headache, irritability, tiredness, that's withdrawal syndrome. It's not serious, but it exists. The good news, it usually passes in a few days. One practical idea: reduce your dose little by little. That way, you give your body time to adjust without having to go cold turkey. I promised you a trick so you don't become a coffee slave. Use it to your advantage, not as an automatic routine. Have it only when you truly need it. If you're well-rested or in a good mood, skip the automatic cup. That way, when you really do need it, you'll actually feel the real boost. If you can, stop drinking it earlier in the day and get the antioxidant properties with just 1 or 2 well-chosen cups. Less is more. Emotional loop. I want you to think about that ritual of making yourself a coffee. That moment just for you, the smell, the taste, the warmth of the cup in your hands. Beyond the chemistry, coffee is pleasure, pause, company. And that, even if science doesn't measure it, also counts for emotional health. Studies show that daily rituals and little pleasures can reduce stress, improve your mood, and even strengthen your feeling of social connection. So if your coffee moment grounds you, add it to your list of good things. But with awareness. I promise to tell you an unexpected exception about sleep. Did you know that some people can have coffee before bed as part of their routine and paradoxically, it helps them relax? These are very rare cases, and science can't fully explain them yet. But hey, not everything is black or white. If you're one of those unicorns, enjoy it. But always pay attention to how you really feel, not what the theory says. Now let's talk about the best way to drink coffee if you want all its benefits. Filtered, no sugar, not too much cream or flavorings. Espresso has less caffeine per volume, but be careful. We tend to drink it more often. Cold brew has more caffeine than hot coffee. And let's not forget instant coffees. They tend to have fewer benefits and more additives. If you feel adventurous, try Japanese drip coffee or French press. Simple methods, no weird additives, pure flavor, and antioxidants. Now the quick questions lots of people ask. Does coffee cause dehydration? Total myth. Drinking coffee counts as hydration, though. Caffeine can be diuretic in excess. Does coffee stain your teeth? Yes, but so do dark teas or red wine. The key, oral hygiene. Does coffee cause stomach acidity? In sensitive people, yes. But there are less acidic coffees, and you can try it with milk or in filtered versions. Can it affect fertility? In moderate amounts, there's no strong evidence of risk for men or women. But it's not something to overdo. And the famous coffee on an empty stomach? Some people say it speeds up your metabolism and burns more fat, but it's a minimal effect in practice. Only drink coffee on an empty stomach if it feels good for you, not forced. Can coffee protect against depression? There's very interesting data. Several studies show lower risk of depression in people who drink coffee regularly, in moderation, perhaps due to effects on neurotransmitters and antioxidants. It's not magic, but it adds to the mix of healthy habits. Now, you're probably wondering, so is coffee good or bad? The answer isn't yes or no, black or white. Coffee is a booster if you use it well. A social drug accepted by science and culture with powerful effects, but it depends on your dose, your genetics, your lifestyle, and your real needs. The mistake is letting your life depend on it. If you're a prisoner of coffee, dare to cut back, lower it, or just listen to yourself. Nobody knows your body better than you. So the real big truth about coffee? Used consciously, coffee can be part of a long, healthy, and happy life. It's not miraculous, but it's not your enemy either if you drink it wisely. And the final myth I promised: coffee does not demineralize you or rob you of essential minerals, like many say. That myth comes from very old debunked experiments. If you eat a varied diet, there's no risk. Today, you've unlocked the whole truth about coffee, from myths to science to experience. Next time you have a cup, think about everything you learned today. Information is power, and now you have the control to decide if coffee is your best ally, or just an occasional guest in your day-to-day life. Do you want to know more about health, myths, and habits? Leave me your next big question in the comments so we can answer it in the next video. And if you found this helpful, share it with that coffee-loving friend you know. See you in the next episode. For now, enjoy your coffee with purpose and without guilt.